Faster, and I'm Sarah Lynch, and today we're going to focus on the chemistry of cooking.
Everyone loves good food.
That's why our show is so popular.
And today, we are making M&M
Blondie!
The first step in making Blondie brownies is taking 4 cups of brown sugar and 1 cup of softened butter and combining them together. This is also an example of cohesion. Sarah, why don't you tell us why?
Great question, Hannah. All the materials will be mixed together in a bowl and will stick together. Cohesion is used in baking brownies because the cohesion of the ingredients allows the molecules to stick together to be baked. The molecules are mixed together and held together by friction due to viscosity, and the cohesion of the molecules hold them together.
Now that we have our brown sugar and our butter combined, we can add our 2 liquids. Here are 4 eggs, and I'm not going to pour it because then they would pour out. And then we have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And now we are going to combine both of these together.
Wow, that's a perfect example of changing the intermolecular forces.
I'll tell you why. Since our final product will be a solid, the molecules within the product will be very strong bonded together. The recipe uses vanilla, butter, and eggs as liquid, which have a medium strength and intermolecular force, which combines with the solid ingredients of sugar, salt, M&Ms, flour, and baking soda to make a sticky substance which has strong intermolecular forces holding it together. Now that we have our 4 cups of flour, our 4 teaspoons of baking soda, and our 2 teaspoons of salt, we can add them all together. Woo! Ta-da! Now that we have both of our mixes, our salt mix and our butter mix, we can add them together.
This will make our mix viscous because the ingredients will be held together by friction.
Putting the M&Ms in. After we put the M&Ms into the Blondie mix, then we grease the pan and put the Blondie mix into the pan shape. This is a perfect example of adhesion because the molecules of the batter has now formed into the shape of the pan and stuck to the edges. This is a perfect showing example of adhesion. Show them, Sarah! Woo! Ta-da! The last step was to put the Blondie mix into the oven. I'll be talking about conduction and radiation, while Sarah talks about temperature and endothermic reaction. Conduction is heat from the oven will go through the batter and create a solid product. While making the blondies, the heat from the oven will transfer heat energy to the baking pan and then to the blondies mix. The oven is vital to baking because it transfers heat to the food in order for it not to be raw and will create a solid product. Radiation is the radiation of the oven is coming off as heat towards the blondie mix and is creating the blondie mix to become hard. The emission of energy is giving off electromagnetic waves to the blondie mix. The radiation from the oven is also creating a hard base and hard crust so that the batter will not dome in.
Thanks, Hannah. Now on to the temperature. The temperature impacts cooking because it has an effect on the reaction of the food and what state it ends up in. For example, when temperature is added, it can speed up the reaction by making the blondies bake faster. That is why the oven is set to a whopping 350 degrees.
Whoa!
Next, the heat from the oven is entering the brownie salad and creating our final product to be hot and warm. The heat from the oven is entering the brownie mix, and the brownie mix is allowing the heat molecules to enter and creating a substance that is hard and hot, exhibiting an endothermic reaction.
And now we wait for 23 minutes. Finally, we took them out of the oven, and they are beautiful, I tell ya. One physical change that occurred was the materials are coming from a liquid mixture to a brownie-like solid. Once the vanilla extract, the egg yolk, combined with the flour, salt, sugar, and baking soda, it will create a solid mixture instead of a liquid mixture of the vanilla extract and the egg yolk.
Nice! Also, a chemical change occurred. Baking the blondies created a chemical change because when baked in the oven, the molecules expanded to make the outside harder and firm, which is the reaction of the elements to the heat of the oven. There is a change in the intermolecular forces, so it's a chemical change. Yummy!
Thanks for watching Cooking 101
with the segment of All About Chemistry.
Yeah!